Sound check, 1, 2.
This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
He knows as soon as he gives it to her, he's gonna give her his heart to her too.
And we'll have kids and get married.
That's too far.
Holy shit.
It is the 30th of May, 2020. 217 Recovery Podcast. Thanks for listening. My name is Corey Winfield. Doing something that I've tried once before, and it did not work at all. It was horrible. And that is actually doing behind the scenes live on Facebook Live, which we're doing right now. So if maybe you've already heard this podcast, just, let's do it again. Maybe you'll catch something that you didn't hear the first time. But yeah, the first time was horrible. I remember it was me, Rob, and Matt, and we were doing it live on Facebook. Because I thought, man, that'd be kind of cool. We'll record it on Facebook Live, and then we'll record the podcast. People can listen to what we're doing, what we're saying, stuff like that, and they'd be more involved. And yeah, it wasn't the case. I remember Rob was laying on the couch, and he was totally playing for the camera. And he to this day says he wasn't, but he was. He has leg cocked up, and his arm was behind his head. Hey ladies. And I even kind of told him that, but
Sexual relationship.
she's like, no, it's not what I was trying to do, bro. I was trying to talk about golf. But yeah, it was horrible. So this time it's going a little bit better. I just hope that I remember that I'm doing this on Facebook Live as well and not just forget about it. But no, today in recovery, holy cow, am I glad to be in recovery today. I was reminded about 3 or 4 different times, wow, I am so glad. Coming up June 15th, I'll have a year and a half sober. And it seems a lot longer than that. It really does. But wow, I wouldn't trade going back to the active addiction for nothing, man. That just was a horrible time. It was a horrible life. Now I have good things. I have good friends. I have people who believe in me, people who trust me. And I trust myself, and it feels really good. I had to dump out a 5th of vodka tonight, a 5th. Just gloop, 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 dumped it out. And it stunk. It just reminded me, I'm so glad I don't have to live that life. I remember scrounging for change, taking back bottles, doing anything I could just to get enough to get alcohol so I could stop the shaking, to stop the puking, to stop the dry heaves, because that's what it would take. And God, I'm so glad that I'm not there right now. And I am grateful for God too, because another thing happened today that it just kind of made me realize that I had to go through the things that I had to go through for a reason. And sometimes I would like to question those reasons. When I was in, let's say, the mental ward, when I was in the mental hospital, I was questioning God all the time, why am I here, Lord? Come on, man. I'm not humping the table like that guy. He called himself Joe Cool, and he's humping tables and walking around with weird stuff coming out of his pants. But I wasn't that guy, and I was just like, God, why do I have to be here? Well, it kind of came full circle today. I was talking with a guy who needs some help, and that's whose 5th I dumped out. And, he was saying he wanted to kill himself. And I had to kind of use the skills that I learned through the ASSIST suicide prevention training and the Safe Talk training, and to just let him know that I was listening to him. And that I had been there, I had been in that same boat where I had wanted to die. And it's not that I wanted to die. It's just I wanted to escape that situation that I was in, those feelings that I was having. I wanted to get away from them. And I didn't know how. And I just wanted to run and hide and die. And in that moment, at those times where I was saying that kind of stuff, I meant it. And I didn't want to, but I didn't know another way out. And I had hurt my family so many times. I had hurt my sister, my mom, everybody that, loved me, I had hurt. And I just didn't want to do that anymore. But the guy was kind of feeling like that. And I'm glad I got him the help that he needed. I took him where he needed to go. And I have faith that it'll work out for him. And his thing was, he had been into a treatment center before. He had been to a mental place before. And, maybe it's just tweaking the pills. When psychiatrists put you on some stuff, they don't know that it's going to work, man. You know, I'm not saying that they're just sitting back throwing darts at a board or anything either. You know, they do what they do and they get paid money for it. But, and, you know, they have the schooling is what I meant. Not that they just do it to get money, but I mean, obviously it's a job, so they kind of do. But you know what I'm saying? It is kind of hit or miss sometimes. And not everything that works for one patient is going to work for another patient. And not everybody's recovery is the same, you know. So I'm just glad that he agreed to go in and he didn't follow through. And the fact that he reached out for help, I told him, was just huge. And, you know, hopefully he's doing well tonight. You know, he's in a safe place at least. And at the end of the day, you know, I did what I could do. But if I didn't have to go through, you know, all the things that I went through, you know, going to, you know, Pine Rest in Grand Rapids multiple times, and I kid when I tell people they should have a statue of me there. You know, I kind of feel like they should have like a wing, like, oh, the Winfield wing. That's where everybody plays the games. That's where everybody over there. That's the fun part. I mean, they should, man. I went there enough. One time, well, not tonight, but no, not tonight. But one day I'm going to tell you a funny story about that place, and now I can look back and laugh. But at the time, I was so pissed off. But just not tonight. I have other things I want to talk about. Like, I went to the store today, and when I was sitting on my couch planning my trip to the store, I remember thinking to myself, like, a year or so ago, I couldn't even have done this because I was on probation. And when the probation I was on, I had like a restricted license, so I could only drive to like AA meetings. I don't even think church was on there. But, you know, there was only a certain amount of things I could do and I could drive to. And I just remember thinking, wow, what a difference a year makes. And now I can just jump on my car and I can go. If I want to run to Target and buy some shirts, which, Missy, your shirt is coming. I bought you a cool shirt today. I'm just going to throw some logos on it. Like, it's probably not as cool as this shirt, but it's pretty cool, and you'll like it a lot. But yeah, you know, I can do that today. You know, I'm not drunk, and that's when I started thinking about, man, I remember when I used to have to dig for change, and that's the only reason I would leave the house was because I would wake up, I'd be like, oh, damn, I don't have any more alcohol. Or usually it would be like, I don't have enough alcohol for the day, you know, because usually the day or two before or whatever, I would buy a couple half gallons or whatever. And I'd start on those, and then I'd wake up, and then, especially when I lived down south, they didn't sell alcohol on Sundays. So you really had to plan ahead. And I'd stock up, and then I'd be like, oh, man, I got to go out and get some more. And, you know, I just remember the shakes and, you know, trying to find the change or playing a game. I like to call it, used to play a game with the bank, trying to see who could get, you know, I got to get the numbers to zero before they put more numbers in my account. And just having like $9 or $8 and then trying to figure, okay, well, how am I going to get the rest because what I'm drinking costs this much? Or do I just, you know, go with the cheap stuff? Or just to not have to worry about that, not have to feel that, man. It was insane. It really was. And I don't have to do that anymore, and it's great. But today I went to Target, though, and I got schooled, man. Somebody you ever had, I think it's called kombucha? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody on Facebook Live know what I'm talking about? Kombucha? Jessica, Lindsay, Margaret, what's up? Tell Greg I said hello. But you know what I'm talking about? Kombucha? It's apple cider or something, man. Kombucha. Oh, not kombucha. Thanks, Lindsay. I think I'm murdering it, but you get the point. It's like this apple cider stuff. It was like Pink Lady Apple or something. Oh, it's horrible. But I saw it, and it was sitting there in the checkout, and I thought, man, I'm going to grab a Monster. And instead, I looked at this bottle of kombucha. Anyway, sorry, I was reading the Facebook Live stuff. So I see on the kombucha or whatever, it has a little label, and it says health aid. I thought, well, hell, you know. I should probably get that because that's going to make me feel better and I'm healthy and man, that's going to be great. So they put it in the spot that said it was $2. It was really like $4. Somebody got my ass. So anyway, so I buy it anyway, and I get to the car, and I didn't know you weren't supposed to shake it, so I shake it, and it's everywhere. I'm like, okay, that's not good. Needed to clean out the old car anyway. So I start drinking it, and then I start thinking, like, this is a lot like recovery. And hear me out on this. Because I see something in the store, that I think, or I'm hoping is going to make me as healthy as the guy who runs 3 miles a day or works out 5 times a week. I think just this one drink, sorry, I hit the microphone, is gonna make me like all of a sudden healthy or something, which obviously isn't the case, but somehow in my mind, I think that's what's gonna happen. And it's the same thing with recovery. I have almost a year and a half. I know people have got 5 years and people have 10 years, but I remember being in that early part of recovery when, hell, to have 6 months, man, if you can make it 6 months, holy cow, how the hell did you do that? I want to be there. I want some of that. And you realize, though, or do you see the outside of it and you think, man, that guy's got it going on. He's got this, he's doing this. Man, everything's great for him. But what you don't see is the 5 days, that guy's at meetings, and the 20 miles, he's walking or talking to people. And, I'm converting those kind of workout, kind of recovery meeting kind of things into the same thing. But you know what I'm saying, though? The gym membership, I just see the guys like, wow, that dude, he's healthy, I don't see the work he's putting in, I guess is a better way to say it. But, I just saw that drink and thought, man, this is going to make me healthy. Doesn't really work that way. You can think you're going to do that, but you got to do the other stuff too. So pretty much I just wasted $4. And I hope I didn't waste your time by telling that kombucha story. I think, hey, Kelly, I think it took longer for me to tell that story than anything, but I don't know. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time today. I really wish, though, my cat's litter box was not in the studio. She just made an appearance to the litter box. And, we're going to work on that. But no, it's good to be sober today. It really is. And you don't have to be afraid. And like that guy that I helped earlier, I was taking like a test at the treatment place I work at. And it was saying that 10 to 20% of people who have a substance use disorder and have a problem with alcohol specifically attempt suicide. And they do it while they're under the influence. So, the suicide thing, I'm sorry, I'm getting back to that because I was just thinking about that. It's something that is very real. And it's very scary because a lot of times when we're under that influence, we're doing things that we don't want to do. Come on, guys. How many women have you slept with where you didn't really want to? You know what I'm saying? Or I should throw that around the other way. Women, how many guys, But you do things you don't want to, and then you end up regretting them. Well, suicide is final. You take your own life. You can't come back from that, and you don't really want to mess that up either. I know people who have, and that doesn't make for such a good time either. But, if you need help and if you're thinking that, the drinking's too much, whether it's, meth, whether it's weed, man, Chelsea, that's for you. Or, it doesn't matter the drug. Addiction is addiction. And if you're using something, like I'm addicted to ice cream, like an MFer right now. And if you're using something that makes you feel good over and over to get you out of how you're really feeling, then, take a close look. And I'm not going to tell you you're an addict. I'm not going to tell you you're addicted to anything. You're going to have to decide that yourself. But, alcohol, substance use, it does make you feel better. That's why we do it. That's how I started out drinking. It made me feel better. And I smoked weed. It made me feel better. I did coke because it made me feel better. And then it doesn't make you feel better. So then what do? You go back and you do more to make you feel better. And it's a vicious cycle. And alcohol, before you know it, at least before I knew it, I was in too deep. I had family members telling me all the time that it was